So how how did you process that in the beginning? Did you right away feel the depth of it, or did that take a while?
Um, I would say I felt pretty sure that it was accurate information. So
Mm-hmm.
the tests are not the percentage of the accuracy of that diagnosis actually isn't super high. I believe it's like 13%. And
Mm-hmm.
so there's follow-up testing that needs to be done to confirm what the blood test result told
Oh.
us. So we went in 2 days, 2 or 3 days later. We went for our second ultrasound, which was more in depth. They used different equipment that can just show more of the anatomy. And it was at that appointment that we were able to see physically, not just from the blood test, that there was many things that just weren't healthy with Iris's development.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, still pretty limited because we were at that point probably 10 weeks into the pregnancy. So things are still
Mm-hmm.
developing. And so they can't see everything, but there was enough markers that showed them this to confirm the diagnosis.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
Wow. Wow.
so after that initial, the second ultrasound where we confirmed the blood test results, from there we did more anatomy scans. So as she grew, we continued to do ultrasounds. And at our second big anatomy ultrasound, it just revealed more. We could see more of
Mm-hmm.
her kidneys, more of her brain development, and all of those things showed us that things were just not developing um,
Mm-hmm.
in the way that they're supposed to typically develop. And
Sure.
so we, the doctor that did that second anatomy ultrasound for us was incredibly helpful
Mm-hmm.
and just really encouraged us to move forward with something called an amniocentesis. That is where they take a sample of the amniotic fluid and then they will test that. And that will actually give you a nearly 100% accurate results
Mm-hmm.
for many different diagnoses. So for us, it was able to tell us that Iris definitely had trisomy 18
Mm-hmm.
full. There's actually different types of trisomies. There's mosaic, partial, and full. And each of those has a different life expectancy or outcome. So, for instance, if her diagnosis had been mosaic, it would just look, her after birth care would have looked different. There probably would have been more options for interventions and things to prolong her life outside of the womb.
Mm-hmm.
But we did the amniocentesis and confirmed that she had full trisomy 18, which is, it was very severe. Her condition would not improve. There's no cure. There's just
Yes.
physically, there's not much that can be done.
What were you told at that point was maybe her life expectancy?
Um, I'm not great at remembering the percentages of things, but we knew that we would be lucky if we made it to a delivery where she was alive. There was
Okay.
a chance that we could go in for ultrasounds or even during pregnancy, that if I was to notice that movement was limited, that she could pass prior to birth.
Mm-hmm.
That even the process of going through birth, she may not survive the birth.
Mm-hmm.
And then if she did survive the birth, likely that she would pass quickly
Mm-hmm.
um, within 24 hours.
Wow. Wow.
So, and the beauty maybe of social media now is that you can look and find different stories that are somewhat similar to your own. And so I found a couple people who had a similar diagnosis and had seen stories of children that lived a couple months or children that lived an hour. after
Mhm.
birth. And so I think the doctors were preparing us to not really expect anything.